Okay, do I start?
Yes, uncle, please.
So the last time we just started the session, and the the two armies of Pandavas and Kauravas were ready to fight, and then just as the battle was about to start, Arjun requested Krishna angrily, rather angrily, as it appears in the verses, to take his chariot in between the two armies so that he could have a look at who have come to fight the Pandavas, and also to be able to decide with whom Arjun should fight personally. So that is, Krishna did that, and he placed them right in front of Bhishma, Drona, and others. And the moment Arjun looked at the armies, he got the frame of mind totally changed. And then he started wondering whether the battle is really necessary, and is it necessary to kill his own near and dear, including relatives and friends, for the sake of a kingdom. And he even said, the last verse that we covered, Arjun even said that even for the empire of the three lokas, I'm not willing to kill my dear friends and relatives. What to speak of the kingdom of this earth only. Now, as the important thing was, as we discussed, that that was not normal Arjun speaking. Normal Arjun was very different, who had, after considering all the pros and cons, of course, the normal Arjun was also a very fair-minded person, very fair-minded, very kind, as we will see the glimpses now. But after considering everything, after making all the efforts, Pandavas had decided, including Arjun, that we have to fight. We cannot do without a fight. The battle is the only way. So we proceed further from there. I think. So this is verse 36 of the first chapter. Arjun continues his exclamations. Nihatya dhartarashtran kaprite syad janardanu papameva dasman atvaitana tatayana. Arjun says that by killing these sons of Dhritarashtra, what pleasure shall we get, O Janardhan, O Krishna? Because we will get only sin, even though they are atatai. Atatai is, this in Sanskrit, atatai means the one who is a mischief monger, a great mischief monger. Like, like setting things on fire, and like, killing innocent people, like kind of terrorist, you can say. In modern language, probably we can say terrorist, what the word atatai means. So Arjun has used the word atatai for them. Though they are like, almost like terrorists, but even then, by killing them, what are we going to get, and what pleasure can we get? And he explains further. Tasmannara vayam hantum dhartarashtan swabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina syam madhav. So he says that therefore we should not kill them. We should not kill them because although they are terrorists, but they are our own people. And how can we happy by killing our own people? After all, even if a relative, our son or daughter or cousin or brother, etc. I mean, however sinful they may be, however wrong words but we cannot, we cannot. They are our the part of our body, like parts of our body. We cannot cut them off. We have tried to reform them. We have to explain to them. We have to punish them also, perhaps, but we can't kill them. So how I don't understand how we will be happy, what pleasure we'll get after killing our own people. Yadyapyete na pashyanti lobhopahata chetasa kulakshaya kritam dosham mitradrohe chapatakam. Now we see the really the noble nature of Arjun. He says that although I concede that they are not able to see the evils of destroying a family, our own family. Why? Because lobho pahata chetasaha. Because by greed, the greed has blinded them. They have become like unmindful, unconscious. They are not able to perceive the defects of killing the family, and also they are not able to perceive the sin which arises out of doing harm to one's own friends, one's own well-wishers, and the harm that comes because of the destruction of the family as a whole. But still, the point is, katham na jayabasmabhi papadasman nivartitum kulakshaya kritam dosham prapashyadbhir janardan. But we don't have that disadvantage. They have that disadvantage that because of the greed, because of excessive greed, they are not able to see these negative points. But we can see them. Fortunately, we are not overcome by greed. We can see clearly things as they are. And therefore, since we can see the defects and the sins of destroying a family, why should we not consider avoiding those defects and avoiding those sins which arise by destruction of the family and by the by doing wrong to our own friends. So here Arjun, we can see the nobility of Arjun, that he is prepared to be impartial even when his enemies are so partial, prejudiced, and wicked. He said, okay, they are blinded by greed, but we are not blinded by greed. So why should we not see our way out of these sins? Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme naste kulam kritsna adharmo vibhavatyuta. So when the family is destroyed, then the ancient religious traditions of the family also get destroyed. And when that happens, then the adharma takes the place of dharma in the kul. The adharma becomes the way because the ancient traditions, ancient religious traditions are destroyed with the family. And in place of the dharma which the family was following, the adharma takes its place. Adharma bhavaat Krishna Pradushanti kulastriya Strishu dushtasu varshleya Jayate varna sankara. Oh Krishna, with the adharma taking over the family, the ladies of the family get polluted, and when they are polluted, when they become unrestrained, then the what is known as varna sankara, that's a crossbreeding takes place. Now Arjun is elaborating on the ancient beliefs, why a family should stay together, why a family should respect the common traditions, ancient common religious traditions, which keep up the dharma, and why they should not intermarry into other families which are totally different. They follow a totally different dharma or which follow adharma, whatever you may say. And that therefore the ancient values of the family, they get destroyed when Varna Sankar develops. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagdanam kulasya cha patante pitaro hesham lupta pindodaka kriya. And when this Varna Sankar takes place, Arjun says, then that definitely it takes all the members of the family to hell, Naraka. Those who have destroyed the family and also the family itself. And therefore, what happens? The result of that is then the Pitaras, the people who have died earlier and who are residing in the Pitralok, they also uh, get to harm because the procedures which are beneficial for the Pitras, they also vanish with the vanishing of the traditions of the family. So Arjun is just elaborating how much harm it can come to us when we destroy a family. Dushaire tai kulagnanam varna sankar karakai उत्साद्यन्ते जाति धर्मा कुल धर्माश्च शाश्वता. But because of these defects of the destroyers of their family and which lead to Varna Sankar, all the Jati Dharma and Kul Dharma, that is the religious pious traditions of the family, religious and pious traditions of the entire community, they also get destroyed. Utsanna kul dharmanam manushyanam janardanu narake niyatam vaso bhavati tyanushushuma. Arjun says that therefore these people who have destroyed the family, they therefore reside in the hell for an indefinitely large period. This is what we have heard. Arjuna is telling Krishna. Aho bhat mahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadraj sukhalobhen kartum hantum swajanamudyata. Now Arjun laments that, oh alas, because of the greed of the kingdom and happiness arising therefrom, we are now ready to perform such a huge sin, mahat papam. And why? Because we are ready to kill our own family and thereby incur a huge sin. It is a matter of great sadness that just because of the greed of kingdom and happiness, we are prepared to do that. यदि मामप्रतीकारमशस्त्रम् शस्त्रपाणयः धार्तराष्ट्रा रणे हन्तु हन्युस्तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्. Arjun says that even if I don't fight, I just keep aside the arms and sit down, and with the arms, these sons of Dhritarashtra kill me in the battlefield here, even that will be beneficial for me. So Arjun says that, I will not run away from here. I will just discard my arms and sit down here, almost surrendering to them. And if they kill me with their arms, even that I consider better than killing my own family, which I can. Sanjay Uvach. Evamokpa Arjuna Sankhe Rathopastha Upavishat Visrajya Sasharam Chapam Shokas Sanvegdamanasa. So Sanjay says that speaking like this, speaking the state of mind clearly, that this is my state of mind, that now after for all these reasons that I have stated, I consider that it is better for me. More, I am prepared to be killed by an enemy or by enemies holding arms and without any resistance, rather than by fighting the battle and killing all these people and incurring the huge sin. And I mean, not only we will go to hell, all the entire family, but even our ancestors will go to hell, those who are residing in the Pitralok. So saying this, he sat in the hind part of the chariot. He discarded his arrows and bows, and with a mind full of sorrow, he just sat down. So this is there. Here ends the first chapter. Pushpika is the Om Tat Sadhite Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishad Yogo Nam Prathamodhyaya. Here ends the first chapter. Now we come to the second chapter. The first verse is Sanjay Uvach. Drashtva tu, sorry. Sanjay Uvach. Tam tatha कृपया वेष्टमश्रुपूर्णा कुले क्षणम् विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यमुवाच Madhusudan. Then to the one who had tears in his eyes, who was lamenting, who was full of sorrow, Madhusudan, the Lord Krishna, the Lord Madhusudan, the killer of the demon Madhu, spoke these words. Shri Bhagavan Uvaj. So Shri Bhagavan said, Kutasva Kashmalamidam Vishaye Samupasthitam Anarya Jushtamasargyam Akirti Karamarjuna. Now, this verse is really worth discussing in a rather great detail. And each and every word of this verse is an ocean in itself. In fact, this one verse itself covers the entire knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, or at least the practical knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So the Lord says, Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupasthitam. O Arjun, from where has this ignorance or ajnana arisen in you? Kutas, from where? Tvam, in you. Kashmalam, the ignorance. Samupasthitam, has arisen. Anarya Jushtam, why? Because this kind of ignorance is Anarya Jushtam, not done by the good people. Aswargyam, it does not lead to heaven. And Akirtikaram, it leads to bad reputation. O Arjun. I'll start with the second line. In this second line, Lord Krishna has given three yardsticks to judge an action, whether it is worth doing or not. Now, with slight modification, with slight extension, with slightly broader meanings, we can apply those yardsticks in modern times also. And even those who don't believe in rebirth or heaven or hell, etc., they also can apply the yardsticks in a different sense. Now let us see. First yardstick says Anarya Justam. That means what you propose to do is not done by good people. Now people can ask me, who are the good people? There may be difference of opinion about it. Some people may think that these are good people, others may think no, these are not the good people. And there may be difference of opinion what is good and what are good people. So we have to go a little deeper. What, this first yardstick actually covers one's Shraddha, or in English we'll say conscience. What we have to go according to our conscience. And we have to recognize our conscience. Now here, unfortunately, Arjun was speaking logically consistent things. Whatever he said was logically consistent, according to some value system, no doubt. But he was not speaking according to his own conscience. Why? Because he was overtaken by grief, overtaken by emotions, and he was not in a balanced state of mind. The point is, the problem is, supposing I am angry, I'm just too angry, or I'm just too depressed, or I'm just too disturbed. Now, in that state, how do I recognize what I should do? What is my real Shraddha or conscience? Now, for that, these are the three yardsticks. So the question arises, who are the good people? Answer is very simple. Whoever we consider good people, they are the good people. So we should try to think of it. We should try to think of somebody who is indisputably good to us from our point of view. He may be our father, mother, teacher, guru, acharya, friend, anybody, but for whom we have unreserved regard. That is our good person. So what should we do? We should place him in our position and then ask the question, would he do it or would she do it? That is what the false yardstick says. Anare justam. What you propose to do, that means discarding your arms and everything and sitting, not fighting the battle in this situation. This is not done by good people. It is not done by even the people you definitely consider to be good. You think in your mind, who are the persons I have unreserved regard for? And would they do it? You get the correct answer according to your conscience. Now, the beauty here is, it's a psychological point. If you directly ask the question, should I do it? You will not get the answer. Because your intellect is clouded, your mind is clouded. So you will not be able to think, you may be able to think rationally, but then intellect is a very mischievous instrument. It can present to you whatever you want to do, whatever you are inclined to do. So it is a sycophant. It is logic. It has a logic, but it is a sycophant also. It always prepares a logic according to what you want to do. So if Arjun would have asked, should I fight or not? His intellect and mind would have told, no, you should not fight. You are right. Why should you kill your own family? You are absolutely right. Well, that is what Arjun wants to do. So if you directly ask the question, should I do it? You will not get the proper answer. But if you ask the question this way, that should he or she, who is my ideal, for whom I have unreserved regard, that whatever he or she does will be always right, would he or she do it? You will get the correct answer. So this is the first yardstick. But this takes care of your Shraddha or conscience. Now the second yardstick, what is it? Aswargyam. It will not lead to heaven. Okay, you may say that I don't believe in heaven or hell. I don't believe in rebirth. No, never mind. What is heaven? Heaven is the result of your good deeds. So heaven, in a sense, in a metaphorical sense, if you extend the meaning a little, heaven means the ultimate result of the action. What will be the ultimate result of the action? Will it be good or bad? That is, again, it is a rational yardstick. The first was psychological yardstick, taking care of Shraddha. Now, this is a rational yardstick, taking care of uh, your rational point of view. That what will be the result of it? Arjun had recounted elaborately the result of fighting. What are the defects of fighting? What will be uh, the consequences of fighting? Arjun recounted, but he has not thought what is the result of not fighting. What is the result of not fighting? Supposing Arjun doesn't fight, then obviously Pandavas lose the battle. And Yudhishthir and all these his brothers will be imprisoned. Arjun also may not be killed, but they may be imprisoned and subject to a lot of humiliation. And this, what lesson will it be for the rest of the society, for the kingdom? That look, you can win only by unfair means. Look at Pandavas. They followed dharma. They were on the right path. They were on the religious path. But what happened to them? Nothing. They lost. And they were put to humiliation, insult, and injury. And the people who followed adharma, they are merrymaking, they are very happy. Is that a desirable result? If Arjun asked this question he will get the correct answer. Is that the desired result? What will be the result of the action that you propose to do? What will be the ultimate outcome of the action you propose to do? And is that a desirable action? That is the second yardstick. It takes care of your rationality. Now the third one. The third is akirtikaram. It will lead to a bad reputation. Now, this yardstick takes care of your social being. We are all social beings. We are not in isolation. We cannot. None of us can live our lives in isolation and really say that I don't care for the society, I don't care for the family, I don't care for other people what they may say. A lot of people say that, but actually they can't manage like that. Ultimately, you have to take care of your social aspect of your being also. It's just a practical thing. So you have to ask the question, will it lead to good reputation or bad reputation? When people judge me, how will they judge me? And mind you, people always judge you right. Some people may criticize you even after you do a good thing. Doesn't matter. Some people may praise you also if you do a bad thing. But people in general, mind you, always judge you right. I don't think there can be any doubt about it. Actually, that is the basis on which public administration is based, which I did all my life. I always believed that people are always right. Though they may be misguided, they may be ignorant, part of them, or maybe all of them for a while, but ultimately, people are always right. Anyway, the point is that you have to ask this question. But with a little rider, you have to ask this question that supposing what you do, you may say that, I am doing something secretly. So who will know about it? No. You have to say, if supposing people know about what I have done, then what will they think? So don't you can't say that I will do something secretly. Nobody will ever know about it. No, yardstick. The extended yardstick is that you have to presume that the people already know what you have done, and then what will they think of? What will the people think of? So that is what the third yardstick is. It takes care of your social being, and everyone is made of one's conscience, rationality, and social being. And even if, for argument's sake, if you say that the different yardsticks give different results, then since there are three yardsticks, at least two will give the same result, yes or no. Should I do it? Two will say yes, one will say no, or two will say no and one will say yes, whatever. So in this half verse, the Lord has given us a way to decide the right course of action, or to decide whether the course of action that you propose to do is right for you or not. Mind you, it can be right for another person. No question about it. Another person in the case of another person, it would have been quite all right to give up the kingdom and say, fine, I don't want the kingdom. You have the kingdom. The Lord Rama gave up the kingdom. He did not fight. He just went because that was his role. That was his conscience. And whatever. So the different, there can be no single thing. That in the same situation also, different people may take different decisions and they may all be right, provided they have taken care of these three yardsticks. They have acted according to their conscience. They have acted according to the rationality, considering the ultimate result of the action and whether that is desirable or not. And the third is the what the people really want. That is a democratic principle in a way, you can say. So now, having said all this, I come to the first line. Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupas. This is the spiritual aspect. The second part was the practical aspect. The Lord says that you have read the Shastras, you have read the Upanishads, you have read the Vedas. You know that there is no ignorance in the Paramatma. He is one, he is above all, after all in the, of course, so there is no Maya in it. Satyam Param Dhimahi. There is no ignorance in it. So then from where the ignorance has come? Try to find out the root of ignorance. Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthitam. So kutastva kashmalam idam samupasthitam. From where has ignorance arisen? In the Paramatma, because everybody is ultimately Paramatma. Paramatma is our ultimate reality. We are, in ultimate sense, we are all that reality, which is free from ignorance, which is pure jnana, pure enlightenment. So from where has this ignorance come? I think we should meditate on this. That this sadhana is to find out the root of ignorance. And the beauty is that the line itself gives the answer. Vishame, by the imbalance of gunas. All the ignorance arises, all the maya arises out of the imbalance of the gunas. When the gunas are in perfect balance, there is no differentiation. In fact, there is no srishti also. And of course, there is no question of any maya or ignorance. If maya or prakriti is there, it is in unmanifest form. There is no manifestation. Manifestation starts only by the imbalance created in the gunas because of the primordial stir in that ultimate reality. So anyway, this is the first line gives a hint of how one should try to do the spiritual sadhana and how one should try to find out the origin of ignorance. Because once the origin of ignorance is, uh, uh, once we concentrate our faculties on the origin of ignorance, we find that ignorance vanishes. Because there is no origin of ignorance. It is just a play of gunas which arise out of Maya.
Uncle, I have
So
a
that
question.
contains the whole knowledge of Bhagavad.
Uncle, may I ask a question?
Please.
Can you tell us what are gunas?
Well, I should say that before the guna comes the prakriti. Now, what is prakriti? Because the mystery is that from how does manifest arise from unmanifest? When you say that the ultimate reality is immutable and it cannot be destroyed, it cannot be created, it is always there, it is beyond space and time, so therefore it is beyond all actions, it is beyond all duality, it is beyond all ignorance, it is also beyond all knowledge. So nothing can reside there except itself. And nothing can describe it, because for describing, you have to take recourse to some language, some action, activity, which are just not there. So from that kind of avyakta, how does the creation occur? Well, it is not a perfect answer. Nobody can give the perfect answer. It is difficult to describe. It is a matter of experience. But loosely, I can say that it is the thought which gives rise to everything. The thought itself gives rise to Prakriti. The thought itself give rise to the gunas of Prakriti. The gunas of Prakriti are just in English, they are translated as the attributes of Prakriti. The different aspects, different possibilities, the different possibilities of duality which reside in the non-duality. When they are in perfect balance, the whole thing looks like non-duality. Just as when all these 7 colors are in perfect balance, they look white, which is a kind of colorlessness. But when they are not in perfect balance, then you see all the colors. So similarly, in perfect balance, the nature, you can say it is not there, or you can say it is unmanifest, whatever you may say. But nothing is manifest. But when the balance is lost because of the action of thought, the action of stir, original stir, then you see all the colors, and in this case, you see all the attributes of nature, which then go to make the creation. Is it okay? I mean, have I given a at least tolerably satisfactory explanation?
Uncle, I wanted, because Kathy, my friend, is here,
Hmm.
and some words I just thought it would be helpful to her.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate hearing you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So is there, is there anything more to be said on this?
No,
No,
you good?
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
So
no,
then we
that's-
go to the second verse, which Lord has spoken. Klaibyam asmagama parth naitat vayupapatyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktotesth parantap. The Lord says that Klaibyam means, cowardice. I will translate it as cowardice. Don't be a coward. Or in fact, it has been translated as, unmanliness. He said, don't be overcome by unmanliness or cowardice, because that is not you. It doesn't behove you. You're not made to be that. Your role is different. You are different. Only under the spell of frustration or depression, you are saying all this. But actually, that is not your real nature. So don't be overcome by cowardice or by unmanliness. And you are, in fact, this weakness of heart. Hridaya Daurbalyam means weakness of heart. So this weakness of heart is actually can be easily overcome. It sounds very big, but it is a kshudram. That is very small. So just leave it and get up. Get up to fight. O Parantap, O the tormentor of enemies. So here the Lord says, very often, when we are in a difficult situation, think that the difficulty is very big. Sometimes we are afraid of it. Of course, Arjuna is not afraid. But I am just generally saying, sometimes we have a problem before us, and we think the problem is very big. And we are so afraid to get into it. But what Krishna is saying is that the problem is not even half as difficult when you really take the bull by horns. You just forget about it. This is nothing. Now imagine, Arjuna has given so many arguments why he should not fight. Why fighting battle, killing the family is not good. But Krishna is not replying to even one argument. He has not touched any of those things. He says all this, whatever you are talking, it is just a weakness of your heart. It is just unmanliness on your part. And if we think it is big, it is difficult to overcome, let me tell you, it is not at all difficult to overcome. You just leave it. Just leave it. Now, this is a very strong, I should say a very, very good advice. You see, I'll just narrate a small story. Shukdev was a great Jnani, a very enlightened person. He was the son of Veda Vyas, who had written the Vedas and Bhagavatam also. So in fact, he had all the knowledge with him. But there was some little obstacle which was preventing him from realizing that knowledge. So he felt that there is something wanting still, and he doesn't have perfect realization of knowledge. So his father sent him to King Janak, who was supposed to be perfect in spiritual knowledge, in addition to his being a king, of course. Janak is one king who has been mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. It will come later on. But he had perfect knowledge. So Sukdev went to him and said that, I want to be perfect. I have read something. I have read a lot and all that, and I understand many things. But still, I feel that I have not realized. But then Janak gave a very strange advice. He said, what ignorance you are talking about? Where is the ignorance? Just drop it and you are perfect. And he dropped it and he was perfect. He realized his perfection also. So in a similar vein, Lord Krishna is saying, just leave it. Just leave your weakness of heart. Just leave your unmanliness. It is not worth holding at all. It is not worth discussing also. Just leave it and get up to fight. So this is another big lesson, that don't keep debating forever. Don't try to understand everything by intellect, because intellect cannot understand everything. Intellect has its own domain. And moreover, intellect cannot be relied upon to present a solution to you. It will only give you alternatives. A wise man utilizes intellect as a good lawyer. A good lawyer will say that this is possible, that is possible. Even in administration also, when you hire experts, the experts will give you different alternatives, which are the viable alternative. But then you have to choose which one you want to choose. And if by chance, just like today's politicians, if they sense that what the top man wants, then very cleverly the experts also will give the same opinion whichever he wants. So they are unreliable. So intellect is unreliable in that sense. You have to be the master. And you have to decide that, look, there is no place for ignorance and me. Here it is, here it goes. Here I drop it. So Lord Krishna said, do the same and get up and fight. Now, in these two verses, in fact, he has given the entire knowledge. And the further verses are only elaboration of that knowledge. But he has also given a shock to Arjuna. He has given a shock, and then Arjuna now appears shaken. And out of that, now he will again say something which will be more or less on the same line that he had spoken earlier, but slightly different, at a different level. So I think I have gone on for too long. In any case, this is the right place to stop also. If there are questions, I don't know how many people are there. But so I stop here and
Uncle,
any.
you have any questions?
No. But thank you very much.
Revati, questions for Ashok uncle? No.
Sorry?
Anu, Revati. Uncle Anu and Anu, Revati, Shankar, Anna, Gayatri are joining us from Tirunelveli.
Acha.
Yes.
Okay.
And Vidya was also she left. Okay. All right, Uncle. Next Saturday, 6:30.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I will send the link, and this session is recorded.
Good. Very good.
And thank you.
We have no questions. I thought there should be some
Any-
questions.
Anybody has any questions?
Or
Anu?
not only questions, but any different
No,
point
ma'am.
of view or anything you want to say.
Yes. Anu, go ahead.
No, ma'am. Nothing. No more questions. Yes.
No question. Do you have any meanings that you want to know in Gunas? Yeah. Uncle, can you, for the benefit of Kathy, in few words, can you set the tone for why the battle took place, please?
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, the
Background.
fact very briefly stated are that there were two brothers, Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Dhritarashtra was, now, those days, the tradition was that the eldest son become the king. After the king, it was a kingdom, the eldest son would become the king. So Dhritarashtra and between Dhritarashtra and Pandu, Dhritarashtra was elder, but he was blind. So he could not become the king because he was, how can a king be blind? And Pandu became the king, but somehow Pandu left the kingdom and went to forest and died there. And before dying, he had 5 children who were called Pandavas. So then, in the absence of Pandu, Dhritarashtra had to become the temporary king. Or you can say that stopgap king he had to become. But with the understanding that when the Pandu returns, if he returns, then he will be the king or his children. Because Pandu was the king, Pandu was the king. So once he was the king, the argument was that his children can only become the king. Anyway, so Pandavas returned later on. So by then, then the dispute started that who should be the king, because Dhritarashtra had 100 children and the eldest of them was Duryodhan. Pandavas had 5 children, the eldest of them was Yudhishthir. But between Yudhishthir and Duryodhan, Yudhishthir was older.
Thank you.
So the argument was that Yudhishthir should be the king now. But the other argument was that since Dhritarashtra had been the king, even a caretaker king, therefore Duryodhan had the right. But and the long and short was there was a dispute, but dispute was resolved ultimately. And Pandu was declared as the king's successor, Yuvraj, the king to be. And then Yudhishthir, Duryodhan and his brothers played a trick and tried to burn them in a plot. Pandavas escaped. They escaped and went to a forest for a long time. And then they returned. And then this time, the Dhritarashtra was forced to give a partition of the kingdom. So a partition was made, and one part was administered by the Duryodhan as a king, the other was Yudhishthir as a king, and the other was Duryodhan as a king. The main capital of Dhritarashtra stayed with Duryodhan. So you can say the Pandavas were given a raw deal, but whatever it was accepted. Then they gambled. They played a gamble, and in that gamble, the Pandavas lost. The condition was that they will go to forest for 13, 14 years, and after that, they will get back their kingdom, their part. But for 14 years, they have to reside in the forest. So they went to forest. They completed 14 years. But when they came back, the Duryodhan refused to give them back their kingdom, which was against the conditions set out. Then several attempts were made. But in fact, Krishna himself, the Lord Krishna himself, went to Duryodhan and pleaded their case and said that, it is fair and proper that you should abide by the conditions and give them back their part of the kingdom. They didn't ask for the whole kingdom. Duryodhan refused. Then ultimately Krishna said, okay, give them at least 5 villages so that they can uh, have some living. Even that Duryodhan refused. Then everybody decided that there was no alternative but to fight for their own rights and for the sake of dharma also. So this was the background. And in that, I should say that there was no difference of opinion. Ultimately, everybody agreed that there is no alternative but to fight the battle. Because the Duryodhan and their brothers, who are called Kauravas, who are all the sons of Dhritarashtra, they are becoming absolutely unreasonable. So the lines were drawn and the battle started. So this was the background.
Thank you.
Now the point is not whether who was right. That is not the point. Point is also not whether they should have fought the battle or they should have gone back to forest. They could have gone back to the forest and lived like like Rama did. But the point was that you should always take appropriate action according to your conscience, according to the yardstick of rationality, and what is generally considered good by people. If you don't do that, let me give an example. Supposing there is a donation coming up. Now your conscience says that you should donate 100 rupees. I am just oversimplifying matters, making them very. So your conscience says that 100 rupees, the donation, $100 is enough for you. But you say that no, I will give only $50. Then what will happen? Later on, your conscience will trouble you and say that no, you have been too miser. You should have given $100. You have given only $50. That is not right. So there will be internal conflict within you. On the contrary, if you give $150, then again the conscience will say you have given too much. Now there will be trouble, running your own family. So both ways, the conscience will trouble you, and you will have internal conflicts.
Yes.
So you have to stay in equilibrium with your conscience, at least for the time being,
Yeah.
until your conscience gets lifted by knowledge or by enlightenment.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. I like that example. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Ji, very, very much.
Okay, thank you.
More than
Thank you,
anything,
sir.
I must thank your friend for the suggestion.
Okay.
So thank you, and then we will see you next Saturday at 6:30.
Okay.
And meanwhile,
Thank
if we have any questions in an afterthought, can we send it to you, Uncle?
Certainly. Why not?
Okay.
It will be a pleasure.
Thank
It
you.
will be a pleasure. I will cover them also.
Thank you. And namaste.
Okay.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you.
All.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye,
much.
Anu. See you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, GC. Shankaranna.
Ma'am?
Yeah, GC.
If possible, next time can we show the slokas and in the English?
ma'am.
Yes, it will be
Do you
better.
have a Bhagavad Gita book, Raja?
Yes, it's difficult to read for me, ma'am.
Oh,
I don't know the rhythm and the pronunciations too.
okay. So, okay, can you put it in that chat group to Ashok uncle?
Actually, he left the meeting, ma'am.
Yeah, illala, and the WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we will see you all next Saturday. Okay.
Okay.
Bye, Anu. Bye, Revati.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, Ka.
GC,
Yes, ma'am.
just one out of non-Bhagavad Gita question. Kathy ma'am has to be at campus at 9:15.
Okay.
I've asked her to come here. I will get her dressed and I will go with her to campus.
Okay.
You take care. If you want, nee vandu Mani put in it. Tomorrow is Tuesday, right? You try to be there a little in the afternoon.
Okay.
That will be better. In
Oh,
a
okay.
Kansas rule peka nalik vara.
Hmm.
I'll do the morning and come home.
Okay.
Be there in the afternoon if you can.
Ma'am, 12:30 we have meeting with the Dev and his streams. Nitish and someone.
Tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, 12:30.
Okay, sure. We'll take it from wherever we are.
Hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Send the mail.
Follow Pandriya.
யாது மேம்
STC.
எஸ்டிசி நான் சொல்லியிருக்கேன் மேம் இந்த நெக்ஸ்ட் மந்த் தான் நாங்க வர முடியும்ட்டு இன்னொரு தடவை நேர்லயோ இல்லையோ போய் நான் சொல்லிக்கிறேன்
Okay, bye.
எஸ்
You
பை
feel better?
எஸ் மேம் அவங்க அவங்க சேஃபா போயிட்டாங்களா மதுரையில
Amma,
இருந்து
they have gone to the temple.
ஓகே
Tell party thank you.
மேம் நோ நோ இன்னும் கொஞ்ச நேரம் இருக்கலேன்னு தான் ஃபீல் பண்ணாங்க
It's
நான்
very-
முதல்ல நான் அரைச்சு வச்சவன் இல்லையே நாங்க ஐயோ ஆச்சு தெரியுமா
எல்லாரும்
அவங்க யூஸ் பண்ணுவோமான்னு தெரியல அதனாலதான் நான் இது சொல்லல இல்லாட்டா முதல்ல சொல்லியிருப்பேன் இனிமேல் சௌஜன்யா மேம்க்கு அடிக்கடி கொடுப்போம்ல அப்படின்னு சரி ஆச்சு
இல்ல எல்லாரும் மொலாப்படி கொடுங்கறன்னா எங்க போறது மொலாப்படி
நேத்து ஒரு கூட்டம் வந்துச்சுல அவமா அது அவ்வளவு காலி பண்ணிடுச்சு
like I want
சரி
good night, Kanna.
ஓகே